cuando no tienes opción o si quieres algo en la vida, lo tienes que hacer. Yo dije, bueno, yo voy a ser alguien. Yo siempre supe yo voy a ser alguien y voy a ser alguien. Entonces, para ser alguien es muchos sacrificios.
Hi, Crayolas. Welcome back to Let's Talk with the Luna Twins with your host, Brenda and Cassandra. And today's guest, we have a really special guest because actually I'm very excited about this episode because we met her so many times, we've seen her so many times, pero obviamente it's professionally, so we want to get to know her on a deeper level. We're like, you know what? Hay que agarrarla y traerla aquí con nosotras. But you guys know the reason why we started this whole podcast is spur awareness on mental health. And if you're struggling with mental health, just know that you're not alone. Just know this podcast was created to spur awareness on mental health. If you're struggling, you're probably your favorite influencer, your favorite PR, or your manager is struggling as well. So no, you're not alone, and that's why we created this for you guys. But let's get started with
Patty.
Hi, Patty. How are you?
Good. I'm so excited to be here. You know, I feel like I'm so thankful that you guys wanted to, sit down with me today and talk.
And thank you for being here.
And chismear. No es cierto.
We're excited. A sacar la ropa.
No. Tengo muchos NDAs firmados, pero ahí sacamos.
Oh, yeah. I want to know a little bit about you. How did you start working in this industry?
You know what? It's so funny because when I was little, I'm not too little, but I always watched that wedding planner with Jennifer Lopez. And I'm like, I want to be that. I want to do that. So I feel like every time que yo veía algo que quería hacer, I would do it. So, siempre me ha gustado trabajar. I love working under stress, girls, and pressure. It's just something crazy, but I love it. So I knew I wanted to do something related to events, planning, and all of that, because I loved it. So I remember I watched that movie, and I'm like, I want to do that. So I started an online course of wedding planning. I don't even think I talked about this before. And I took the course, and then, I started hitting up salones y fiestas, and I was like, hey, yo te puedo hacer tu salón, tu fiesta, tu quinceañera y eso. Because every time you go to a party, it's so stressful. You just want to relax. So in quinceañeras and Mexican families, you don't see that. You see the mom, la tía always running and doing it because they're not used to having that. They don't know sometimes. Now they do more. They have a wedding planner, event planner, but back then they're like, ¿qué es eso? No, we do it, but they never enjoy the party. So I started doing that and, I got a lot of experience and then I was like, okay, now you can pay me for this event. I'll do it. And I loved it. I love to see the process of, getting the first dance, the cutting of the cake, doing all of that. So I always like to have, that type of job. So así empecé en como un poquito. Y ya I was on the medical field for 10 years. And people are like, what? Yes. But I was tired. I was burnt out. And I was like, you know what? Ya no quiero hacer esto. I'm gonna quit and I'm gonna do eyelashes. It was so random because I'm not very crafty with my hair or creating things. I'm good. Everyone is good at something, but that's something I don't do. I don't do well doing trenzas. Nunca le pude hacer una pinche trenza a la Barbie. Nunca. Por más que practico to this day, yo no sé hacer una trenza. No sé hacer una trenza. No sé trenzar ni un pelo. So, entonces, dije, bueno, voy a intentar hacer los lashes. And then, I started doing eyelashes. I took a course. It was the only $1,000 I think I had on my bank account. And I went and took the course. And I was en mi cabeza, yo iba a ser la mejor, la más chingona, la más wow, que voy a hacer las pestañas, increíble. Y de repente, dije, bueno, y ahora que ya tengo el certificate, keep practicing. And then, I have a lot of friends. So I have a lot of friends that do modeling, influencers, even back then. So I started telling them, hey, why don't you come and I'll do your eyelashes, but I'm going to go live on Facebook and then we can talk about this. And then I met somebody that used to sell tickets on the street and they're like, hey, I noticed that you're always going live doing your lashes. I know this promoter who, does concerts and he doesn't have somebody to interview artists. I can connect you with him and maybe you can do something because he doesn't have that. And I was like, okay, but he never connected me with him, FYI. I connected myself. Long story short. Bueno, entonces me conecté con ese promotor que es muy importante. El día de hoy se llama Bobby D. Y somos familia. Remember I finally connected with him, and I asked him for an opportunity to work with him, interviewing his artists or helping him out behind the scenes. And then he's like, I like it. I already have somebody doing it, but I need a Latin person. And when I joined his team, that girl that was there, she quit. She quit right away because he hired me. And even he never told her, I'm going to get rid of you. He just told her, I'm bringing someone Latin because I'm going to start doing Latin concerts, not so much R&B, hip hop. I'm going to start working in the Latin so I can have two of you. Well, she didn't take the heat and she left. I remember, and I was like, wow. And it wasn't that serious. I was like, and mind you, it was my first time coming in the industry. And then he told me, I don't have time to train you, to tell you the ways. You're going to have to be a fish and just swim around. I'm going to open all the doors for you, but you're going to have to figure it out. And that's how I started in the music industry, in the concert industry, behind the scenes to be where I'm at today. Mm-hmm.
Prior to you starting working in the industry of the music, you said you worked in the medical field. And what position did you work in?
So I started working as a medical assistant because when I was at 14, 15, I remember I went to my first Planned Parenthood clinic, and I said, oh, I like what she's doing. I want to do that. So I'm that type of person that I always like, if I like something, I say, I'm going to do it. I want to do that. And I do it. I always been that way. So I studied first to be a medical assistant, back office. So I was doing I work in different, offices like OB, which is the babies, pediatrician. I never did optometry, but I did, OB, I did pediatrics. I did, the foot doctor. I did, family, general practitioner, and I did a little bit of everything. And then I worked for the county. I was tired of doing back office injections, drawing blood and things like that. And then I decided I wanted a county job with the government and working insurance now, the other side, which is the front medical, learning insurances. And they have PR on the insurance stuff. So I learned PR, but it was for insurance. So yeah, that's what I was doing.
That's amazing. I'm in shock. You literally say, déjame hacer de esto, ya me enfadé esto, déjame hacer otra cosa, esto. Well, that's good because I feel like a lot of people they're kind of scared because they're so I can only do this because they feel so limited to doing certain things just because they're not exposed to other things or they're not brave enough or they don't have the courage enough to wanting to do other stuff because they just know this. You know what I mean? So I do want to know, how do you deal with so much stress being a PR?
I don't know. No, just kidding. You know what? I think because I like working under pressure, I'm okay with it. But then sometimes I need to disengage, kind of calm down. So I feel like doing the things I like, kind of disconnecting for a second from my phone. That's what helps me. Like watching a TV show, TikTok, or going out with my kids or going out with my friends or just brunch or things that are fun, things that are away from social media. That helps me recharge and be more creative or just be alone. I'm a Taurus. I'm okay being alone. I don't care.
We are Taurus.
See, you're Taurus. Very fun.
What's your birthday?
April 26th.
Oh, we're May 15th.
See? So I was like, I'm fine. We just keep it moving. But I just feel so we kind of isolate a little bit and then we come back like nothing. How are you? I was here. I was just gone, or my phone was lost or something. But I think that helps, or talking to somebody. Cause we keep a lot to ourselves. We don't like to talk to people about what we're going through. But once you learn that it's okay to ask for help or to talk to somebody, I think that helps because, you guys were talking about mental health. That's super important. And, if we don't do that, then we go into depression.
And you mentioned you going out to brunch helps distract your mind. But how do you manage doing the PR and your work balance all together? Because I know social media has ups and downs. We haven't even Monday, we haven't even Tuesday, and it's just all over the place.
You know what? I wasn't very organized at the beginning because you have so much thrown at you or so many calls and stuff. But if you kind of do like a schedule or you maintain like a routine, that helps. So putting yourself like some goals or finishing up some things that you have to finish first as priority, then you can finish. I'm really good at working with big like assignments, but little ones, I tend to be like, I leave them to the last minute, and that's bad, but that's something I'm working on, but that's how, like, I feel like maintaining like what's priority, what's next, that's what kind of helps you.
You don't get mentally drained out in the industry, because I know it is a lot. It seems like, oh my God, it's this beautiful thing. Sometimes there is a lot that goes behind the scenes without you guys noticing. So I do want to know, how do you not get overwhelmed or say, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore? I know you had mentioned you enjoy being under stress, but have you ever been in the mental state where like, I can't do this anymore?
No, of course. I feel like I would be lying if I say that. No, there are times that I question it. I go like, do I still want to do this, or it's too much? Or like, people think like, I'm sure you guys get this a lot, like, oh, how cool you were with this artist or you were at that event, but they don't know what entails like for you to even like show up, get ready, or put that event together. So sometimes everything looks so pretty and glam, but behind there's a lot of things going on. Somebody was rude to you, somebody didn't show up, somebody insulted you, or somebody didn't like let you go. So yeah, I mean, there are times that I don't want to do it, that I know I have to do something and I don't want to, like, and you have to find that strength, because the worst enemy is yourself. It's not even nobody telling you you suck, you're ugly, is you. When you don't get up, it's because you don't get up. When you don't finish something, it's because you didn't finish something. It's nobody even telling you. You don't have no haters. All these people saying, no, my haters. Who? What hater? You're your hater. Like, because you're the one that's like fighting yourself to do something. So sometimes I have that. I'm fighting myself to finish something. And I'm like, finish it. Finish it, because if you don't, then your word is not going to be valid. Finish it, because if not, people are going to say you didn't come through. So it's like you have to find that strength and talk to yourself. And sometimes it's hard. I think that's something that I changed a lot, because before I was very judgmental, like with people saying, oh, how could you not get up? How could you not try? But when you go through it and you know how hard it is to get up from your bed, like how hard you're struggling, then you know, like, it's not that easy to tell that person, come on, why you're not doing it? Once you go through it, you change your perspective of other people's like downfalls. Mm-hmm.
You're originally you were a manager and a PR, right? Can you explain a little bit about your job?
Yeah. So like public relations is more like kind of helping you like expose who you are, your brand or yourself. A PR is more like working on your image, working to push something out, giving visibility to somebody or something and put it out there, like, so everybody knows about it. It's like a lot of things, it involves like marketing, involves branding, but involves like pretty much make it known. But manager, like being somebody's manager, whether it's an artist, whether it's like a content creator, it's like telling them what's best for their career to grow, or how much to charge, or what to do, what not to do, what would be better for you. Making decisions about taking a movie film, your next step in your career if you want to do it. So that's the difference.
So you're a PR and manager. How does it like dealing with all these content creators / influencers?
It's a lot of stress. It is stressful. I'm not going to lie. It's not easy. Everybody has different personalities. And imagine that what we were talking about, getting up yourself, now telling somebody, get up, do it, go, show up, post. Doesn't pay. Nobody wants to post, or I'll do it later, or dealing with attitudes or entitlements. It's hard. It's not easy, because you have to control your emotions and not get mad, because there's some of creators that are like super easy to work with, super like solid, super everything flows. And there's other ones that you gotta be like on top of that.
So it feels like you're a mom all over again.
Absolutely. It's like you're mommying them. You're like, it's guiding them, but then it's like you're a mom. Or like sometimes it's like, I'm not your mom, but it sounds like I am because you're not listening. Yeah.
And how was it managing, for example, Shawty Bay, Wilito, Wendy and all that? How was it like?
I mean, they all have beautiful personalities, but it's not for the weak. Yeah, it's not. You gotta have tough skin. Not because they're bad people. It's just because, again, like when you're so used to you managing your life and it sounds like someone's telling you what to do, then it's kind of like that fight. Don't tell me what to do, but I'm not. I'm just telling you this is what's next or needs to be done. But when you are not putting your walls down, come on, déjame guiarte, déjame ayudarte. It goes, so that's what makes it hard. But then it makes it fun when they show up and then you see the fans happy and things like that.
Do you think they set boundaries more because of their past relationship with like other managers they had, or you just think it's just how they are?
Yeah, I think so. What happens is when you come from bad management or you come from no management or when you don't know what management is, you don't know what boundaries to put, or you kind of don't know what's going on, or you get the comparison, or you think everyone's going to steal from you or taking advantage of you or something, but there's always signs and red flags. I tell like creators, like, if I'm not your manager, look for one that you feel comfortable with. It's a relationship. It's a relationship. It's like you have a boyfriend. You're like that. Your manager is on your top contact list. It's like texting or calling. It's like your new boyfriend.
Yes, literally, really true. I'm very curious. How did you become so outgoing? Because every time we go to, I know we're a little bit shy. You guys, we're not as social as we are in person. We're a little bit shy. So when we met Patty, we were a little bit shy meeting her. So I want to know how do you get someone's confidence going on to these events? Could you go in there and you're like, I know what I'm going to do. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. We need to get this rolling. You have it all.
Yeah, I feel like how I do it is because I already, like before I go to an event or I go to a meeting or I go to something, I already like pictured it, how it's going to look. So I need to do it exactly how I said it's going to be, but if I don't act like that, it's not going to get done. So someone has to do it. And because it's already in me, like that leading, like that leadership, that boss thing, it's already in me. So that's how I could do it. Because if not, I wouldn't be able to do it. It sucked. I mean, I had back in the days, probably events that didn't go well or some that sí salieron bien, but it's kind of like you learn from that, but you can't be shy, you have to talk. And I feel it because I know creators get shy, but I'm like, so how are you going to meet other people? How do you want someone to invite you somewhere? You have to talk.
That's true. We're like little ducks behind Alex. We're like, Alex, what do we do? But when you started this whole social media or this industry that you're in, you were always very confident in what you were doing, or did you like question? You're like, oh my God, how am I going to talk to people?
No, you know what it was with me when I came in the industry, there were other people like me or other managers. So what happens with some people like that, they feel some people are nice and some people are not. They feel like, oh, I already have this context and you don't. Like, don't ask me. They're gatekeepers. They're like, I'm not going to do that. So sometimes you didn't know what kind of approach to go, or you were scared to ask for help. Or if I was kind of like skeptical to ask you for an email or a contact, because I don't know if that person was going to give it to me or not. So no, it wasn't always like this, because I would like shy to ask, because what if that person takes it personal? Like, how dare you ask me? Or who do you think I am to give you a contact? Because there are people like that. They're very like guarded and protected. Or there are people that are nice and willing to help because they know that, there's the sun shines for everybody. But no, back then, like, when I didn't have like a kind of a name or people didn't know who I was, it was hard because, a lot of people are very like guarded and protective. They're like gatekeeping. They want you to do good, but not like better or outshine them or kind of make more money. I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you. It is hard in this industry, but you start to pick up on little things like, okay, like this is the people I want to see me win. Like, I do understand the gatekeeping part because some people maybe were taught that way, and it's valid. It's understandable. But with that being said, I want to talk about your daughter. You had mentioned you had a daughter. How's it like being a mom?
It's a beautiful thing being a mom. Actually, that was on my list. I feel like every woman, I don't know if you guys have a list, like a bucket list. Oh, I want to do this. I want to get married. I want to have kids. Oh, I want my wedding like this. So I feel like, that was something I always wanted, like to be a mom, So when I finally became a mom, I was like, oh my God, this is really happening. And they're letting me walk with her out of the hospital. Like, what do I do with this? No, you really don't know. You just get out in a wheelchair with the baby and they're like, like, okay, go home. Like, you're trusting me with a kid? Okay. Like, but it was really good. But I just felt like, I was a little hard on her at the beginning because I'm very like, like a hard worker. And then like you had this expectations for your kids too. So I feel like when you're like a working mom and trying to make money, you're like on survival mode. Sometimes you can be a little hard on your kids. And that's something that I'm working on now not to do because you see it. It affects your kids because, they probably need more of you. They don't want your money. They just want your time. And I think that's the hardest thing.
When you had her, were you already doing PR or were you still in medical?
No, I was just a regular mom. I was just like a happy, like housewife, like they say, like, oh, I'm a housewife. I enjoyed her. Like I was just like doing normal things. And, I was in nothing to do with the industry or the artists that I'm even like, that I would have been like listening in high school with, that I work with now. It's crazy. Then I was just like simple, mom. I had a 9 to 5, get up, take her to daycare or spend time with her.
How was it transitioning from being a stay-at-home mom to working and then now working in the PR?
It was hard because I feel like I missed a lot. I missed a lot of moments. I missed a lot of moments with both of them because I have a son too. And I missed a lot of moments, but it was a sacrifice that I was doing to make it where I am today.
And what's something you can tell your kids if they're watching right now?
I would tell my kids that I love them and that everything I did, it was for them. Absolutely. It was for nobody else.
Since you're working with all these big artists, how do you know when someone wants to be your friend genuinely? Because I know it's so hard to make friends in this industry. You can't tell if they're actually there for you or they're there because they need something from, are they benefiting?
Yeah, you know what? That's something that I learned through the years because at the beginning I was very naive. When you start in the industry, you're very naive and you don't know who you can trust and how much you're talking and when to stop because then you don't know that person. Like it's always like a hit and miss. But once you've been, backstabbed, betrayed, or somebody really talking about you of something you didn't do, then that's how you learn that, you're choosing wrong and you're not paying attention to the signs. Like, if your phone is not ringing about how are you? Do you want to go eat? And it's always ringing like, what are we doing tonight? Where are you going? What event is going on today? Then too. That person is here to grow and to eat and looking out for them, but it's nothing to do with you. Like they can care less if you're like in the hospital or if you ate today or if they can give you $5 or if they can ask you how you're doing, then you kind of start feeling it too. Or you got to be careful. There's a lot of friends that have a lot of envy, Sometimes it's not even the betrayal or who's there with you. It's like they're jealous of you, all of that. Now you have to have a discernment. You kind of have to, because sometimes we can be judgmental with somebody, but then you have to not be so trustable right away or give everything. Because I feel like when you're a good person, you want to help, but sometimes you can't help people right away, or you got to put like a boundary or kind of be like, hold on, let me like wait on you a little bit more. And I remember I waited on somebody that I know for like a year to even like offer them a job or put them in a good position. And they still came out of pocket with me, even though I waited. Sometimes it's a hit and miss.
And we're not trying to scare you guys. That's not how it really, like, that's just kind of like the overview of how social media is. To be naive and like you think everybody has good intentions, but that's not how it is. It's just kind of like the real world where you have to be cautious of who you trust and who you give your energy to. It's just you have to be a little bit more reserved in this industry. It takes you a lot for you to trust people now.
Yes, because obviously when you start confiding with somebody and then it gets out there, you automatically know like it was that person. It's like I was talking to you privately and you went and talked about me. Look, I'm not perfect, but if we're friends and we have a fallout, why go talk about my personal things? Just leave that inside and whatever problem you had with me. If you want to talk about it with other people, that's fine. But I feel like when you share things that are private, like you should keep it there because that means you have no values. You have no respect for that other person. You're a bad person. So the thing is now it's kind of like if I meet with you, we can start maybe a friendship, but for me to share anything like about my personal life and my circle or my whereabouts is gonna take a little long because you don't know the person's intentions.
When you have a project together, have you ever had conflict with them during the project, or you're able to put that issue aside?
No, there have been times we had problems, when a project is going on and we have to talk about it because then we hear other people bringing it back and it's like, okay, so why don't you tell me instead of, going with somebody around, let's talk about it and fix it or let's end it. I had someone that said, oh, I just want to end things. I'm like, well, let's end things. But before we ended things, like we talked about it, we try or let's sit down to talk about it. But when you have no like valid reasons of ending something, it's kind of like, then I'm not involved. I'm trying to fix a problem and you don't. So let's just move on accordingly. I don't have to talk about you.
Do you think those issues were created based off like chismes?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's why you speak to them directly and say, let's fix this because I think it's started by a chisme.
Yeah. And it's always like a chisme or something, but it's kind of like, okay, I'm here. Let's talk about the chisme. Let's bring the root of the chisme. And then when you cannot bring facts or receipts, then what's going on? Because yes, now I'm that person that I'm going to ask you twice. This is what it says right here. We're going to do this. If I didn't do this, we can do this. But okay, let's go back. So now I'm asking, is this okay? If you said yes, it's like, I'm asking you, is this okay? Is this trade okay? Is this payment okay? Or is it okay that you show up here? And if you're saying yes, I want to be clear. Because when you come to me about something, I don't want you to come back to me with, oh, you didn't say that. You didn't do that. Now I'm more protective. Now I like double check things because of things that happened in the past. So now I ask 3 times, are you okay with this? Are you happy with this? And I do that with my friends too now. Are you okay with this? You want to go? Like, don't lie. Like, because I don't want to have those problems anymore. I don't.
I know we moved a little bit away from your kids. I want to know, how old are your kids?
So my daughter's about to be 12 and my son 8.
And how does she feel that you're doing all this around her? Does she feel like, oh, like I want to follow your footsteps? Or do you feel like she wants to go a different route because she knows how much stress and workload you have?
You know what? She's never been like, because it was just recently when she kind of turned 10, 11 that she started watching TikTok and knowing which influencer was which but she was never like, oh, mom, you work with this, and not until last year. So it's never forced to her, or she's never like, oh, take me. Now she's barely asking, oh, can I go here and there? But she was never like obsessed or like anything like that. I kind of want to involve her more, like to come like more in the work ethic part than the social media part. But if she wants to do it, I always ask her, what do you want to do? Like, but she's never saying, I want to do TikToks or I want to be a YouTuber. I think my son wants to be a YouTuber, but for gaming and stuff, but never for like this. But she's more into like, esthetician things, like beauty things. So, but I mean, I will guide her because social media, if you're not strong enough mentally, it can destroy you with the comments, the back, cuando te atacan, todo eso.
That leads me to my next question. How do you deal with so much hate? Because I know you had mentioned last year was hectic for you, had a lot of problems. And how did you mentally take on that hate? Which is not okay to hate. That's the one thing I want to understand. Why do people think it's okay to hate on other people? We have nothing nice to say. Please don't say it at all, because you never know what the person's going through.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't read the comments. Like last year, I was like, I feel like I was a lot on TikTok with a lot of comments, but I never read the comments. So people would come and say, hey, they clipped you here or you're shown here. But I didn't want to read the comments, or I never went to clear rumors. But one time, I think Pancho had posted me for something and I went live with him for like a couple of minutes, but it was for a good reason. Never because I wanted to clear anything about me. It was more for my client at that time that I went and cleared. Listen, you don't know the truth. Like everybody, like you said, it's easier for them to talk. It's because la gente va a pensar lo que ellos quieran. Nunca vas a quedar feliz con nadie. Y I feel like the people that are always writing hate or calling people's names or clipping somebody's chin or stomach or weird things are because they're not happy with themselves. So obviously behind a screen, they could do anything. And of course, if nobody's watching you, you're not going to have integrity. You're going to say anything to make that person feel bad,
We still are strong advocates of mental health. just because I don't know if you know, Brenda has anxiety. She does take anxiety medication. And there's a time in her life where she just didn't want to be here anymore. And that's why you had to be very cautious of what you're saying. You could be the reason a person does not want to be here tomorrow. You always spread awareness, spread positivity, show love, say good morning. Even you smiling at a person really does make a difference in their person's life. Do you see yourself doing this in the long run, or do you ever think like, I want to move to do something else? Because I know you said you love doing your job, but then there's times you want to go back. Because yes, I know it is hard. Cause we have a manager always, Alex. I don't know how you guys do it. Like, you guys manage a lot of info, and it's so much stress. So I applaud you for that, because I know it is a lot of responsibility being able to manage and being PR at the same time and balance work life and your personal life.
I feel like sometimes I want to just like do something else. Like, it's so funny because I did a launch of my cooking last year, which I'm still gonna work on that. It's like a pan dulce. So I'm like, I'll be happy just being in the bakery, like doing something else. So I feel like if I wasn't doing this, I would probably be doing something like, something like that, where something more commercial, or maybe be more at home and then do something else. But in regards to like maybe social media, creating, but yeah, because it burns you out sometimes. Like, even doing other activities, I was like, oh, I could do this, but then I'm like, I get bored. I need to go back to the stress. But I feel like I don't want to do this forever. I want to like outgrow what I do. Maybe I am probably going to start working next year more into the filming movie scene. Not for me, but like behind the scenes, like what is like creating a reality show, movies. And that's something new that I haven't talked about, but that's something that I'm tapping in very strong, where I'm like maybe doing the crossover, but to the networks and things like that.
So every time you kind of like master a project, you just set new boundaries to, not boundaries, but new goals for yourself. Yeah.
Yes, because I feel like what's next, and it's always good to know everything. I feel like when I know a lot of people, and I know that's an advantage that I have, because if you tell me I need a giraffe, I have one. I need a donkey, I have a donkey. And this is a true story. They asked for a donkey, and we were able to find that donkey. And so the donkey had to have hair, not little short hair, because they're gonna like cut the hair, do a design. So we found it. It's crazy. So I feel like, knowing a lot of people, like networking is so important. And then knowing yourself, what you like and you don't like, is going to help you be happy or end up doing what you like rather than what you don't.
I like the way you said that. Okay. I'm curious to know, since you're in this industry, it's so easy to get lost in this world, and with obviously the money, the people you're surrounding yourself with, the alcohol, the drinking, and all that, and you get influenced by these people. So how do you stay true to yourself and not get distracted by all the noise that's surrounding you?
You know what? I feel like my dad is a very great mentor to me, because like he's the one person, because nobody loves you, right? No one's gonna come and tell you, oh, you're wrong, and that you don't like it when people tell you were wrong. But he's that one person who can come and tell me you're doing bad, or you sucked, or something, and you have to take the credit, you have to take the criticism and be like, yeah, damn, I really sucked. I was really bad on that. I really messed up on that. That was, wow. So I feel like having somebody as like my dad, that's my best friend, to keep my feet on the ground and tell me when I'm not doing great. It's good to always have a support system, your close friends, and always like maybe, not letting this whole Hollywood world take over you, because I can be sitting next to JLo and I'm not taking a photo with her. Once you master how to control your emotions, or compose yourself, learn to behave, you're okay being in the room with anybody, because it's just like that person. So you cannot think you're above somebody. I went to an event on Monday, and it was a magazine event, and it was the first time this magazine launched the Latino side, because they all write about like more of the American market. When we went to pick up the car at the valet park, there was this influencer. I don't even know his name. But the influencer was yelling at the valet guy saying, oh, you're supposed to let me know that we're not able to pay cash, that only Visa. I don't know. The argument was about like the charging, but he kept yelling at him, you're rude to me. And he was making a big scene, and that's fine. That can be fixable. But then he started insulting, saying, you're not of my type. I'm type 1 and you're type 2. And this is what I'm talking about. When people think you're more, like, you're not more than anybody. You're not more than the ballet guy, like something like, that's what I'm saying, that I keep it grounded. I'm like, just like anybody else. So that's how you have to think. You can't think you're all that just because you have numbers on social media, because you have more money. You can lose it all in 1 second, and you need to be humble.
Have you ever considered yourself doing the social media yourself as in the creator part?
I do it sometimes. I do, wear clothes for Fashion Nova, other boutiques. There's people, I'm sponsored with a lot of things. Shout out to my hair lady. I have the best hair, Maribel. My nail lady, and I do it because I work for so long that I'm like, hey, I have to work on myself too. Sometimes I'm creating content myself, because even as managers or PRs, we have to have an image, and people see it wrong, thinking, oh, you want to be a creator too, or you want to be an influencer. No, I'm working on my image, because this is my face card. This is my card. So how'd you know that I work with Ice Cube, with Snoop Dogg? How do you know I work with Peso Pluma if you never saw me there? This is my face card. So I represent myself. Well, yeah, of course I create content here and there of the things that I do.
I love that. I love how you're so confident for yourself and how what you do. I think it takes a lot for people to be able to say, you know what, like, I don't care what you're going to tell me. I don't care what you guys say, what you guys think about me. I'm going to do what I got to do because I know what I want, and I'm going to stay true to myself. And that says a lot about you, because I just think personally, I am the type of person to, sometimes I get in my head a little bit with what people tell me, even not in a bad way, but sometimes it does get to me. I try not to let it get to me, especially because we're in the influencer and industry about social media. So I admire you for being able to keep your toes grounded and you don't let anyone get to you. So I want to know, how do you get yourself to not listen to that, as in you telling yourself mentally, like, you know what, it's a new day, but I'm going to keep going and keep going and keep going no matter what happens. It's just pasa el tiempo y voy a estar echándole ganas.
You have to have a me mind, like a selfish mind. Like, just think about you. Cuando estamos pensando solo en nosotros, no podemos pensar en los demás. Entonces, si tú te enfocas en ti y en tu interior, entonces puedes apagar todo ese ruido alrededor de ti and do it. And así puedes buscar fuerzas donde no las tienes, porque lo que mucha gente le falta ahorita es tener valor para hacer las cosas. Y not having the will or not having el valor, esa palabra es muy, si no te quieres a ti, lo más difícil es quererte a ti mismo. Es lo más difícil, porque cuando no te quieres, no puedes. Te tardas más en hacer las cosas, en salir adelante, y es cuando necesitas el valor para decir no, y no escuchar los comentarios negativos, no escuchar lo que la gente diga. Tienes que hacerlo, porque si no lo haces tú, ¿quién lo va a hacer?
Exactamente. Quiero regresar un poquito para atrás. Dices que eras mamá full time, ¿verdad? Pero ¿por qué que hiciste a trabajar otra vez if you were already a stay-at-home mom? Did you not enjoy it, or did you feel like I want to do something else in my life?
If I had time to be a full-time mom, I'd probably be like bored. Not because I don't like it, but because I already have the jefa mindset that I need to be doing something. Y además estuve en un periodo de mi vida donde ya no podía ser como stay-at-home mom, porque la persona con quien yo estaba no contaba mentalmente, económicamente ni físicamente para estar ahí. Entonces dijo, wow, si yo no me muevo, ¿dónde vamos a llegar? You have to make your kids proud of you or do something, no matter what it is. It doesn't have to be this career. Cuando no tienes opción, o si quieres algo en la vida, lo tienes que hacer. Yo dije, bueno, yo voy a ser alguien. Yo siempre supe, yo voy a ser alguien y voy a ser alguien. Entonces, para ser alguien es muchos sacrificios. No es como, me tomé una foto con una persona famosa, ya soy alguien. No. Ser alguien es que la gente te respete, que tengas una integridad, que tengas un nombre. Sí, no somos perfectos, hemos cometido errores, pero dar la cara y todas esas cosas. Pero la verdad, sí disfruto ser mamá y todo eso, pero no me veo 24/7 ser mamá, porque me gusta lo que hago, es salir adelante.
¿Y tú crees que en ese tiempo que tu pareja ya no estaba haciendo, they were not providing financially or being present in your life, ¿tú crees que fue algo difícil para que lo asimilaras?
Sí, fue difícil, pero creo que eso fue lo que me empujó a decir, bueno, si tú no, uno de los dos tiene que hacer, porque Si no lo haces tú y el otro, y los niños, o sea, cuando ya no eres tú solo, porque cuando ustedes no tienen hijos, o cuando yo me acuerdo cuando no tenía hijos, yo me levantaba a la hora que yo quiero, si comí, si no comí, pero ya cuando eres responsable de la vida de otra persona, es como, no, o sea, tienes que ver cómo lo vas a hacer y cómo le haces o cómo vas a salir adelante para que tus hijos salgan adelante. Entonces sí fue una cosa que sí fue difícil.
¿Y cómo estabas mentalmente en ese tiempo cuando dijiste, ya no me está apoyando él? O cómo encontraste la manera de decir, pues me voy a aventar ahí a ver cómo me va.
Estaba fuerte mentalmente. Creo que bloqueé eso. A muchas mujeres nos pasa, y muchas mamás se pueden identificar conmigo, hasta mujeres que no tienen hijos, pero tienen una pareja. Cuando no hay opción o estás como en un modo de sobrevivencia o tienes que salir adelante, es como que bloqueas todo. Es algo impresionante de la mujer. Nosotros tenemos un don que podemos poner algo un momento aquí, bloquearlo, déjame encargo de esto y ahorita regreso con esto y ahorita hay que hacer esto. Eso es como bloqueé una parte de mí y hice esto y ya como hasta después es como, oh my God, estoy pasando esto, pero primero vamos a bloquear esto y hay que hacer esto. So, bloqueamos un lado y seguimos así.
¿Eso nunca te dio como ansiedad o depresión?
Sí me dio, ya yo pienso que en los momentos como cuando ya estás a solas, como en los momentos como si no alcanzaba el dinero o no alcanza para algo, es cuando te da pánico, porque entonces empiezas a pensar, uy, estoy sola, no me ayudó y ahora qué hago y esto que el otro, pero Dios siempre provee, siempre está ahí, pero en esos momentos es cuando te da la ansiedad. Es lo que yo les digo, en el momento que tú estás sola es cuando tus pensamientos son los que te atacan, pero una mente ocupada y productiva no puede pensar esos pensamientos, pero en los momentos más difíciles, porque uno quiere que todo esté perfecto, ay, el dinero está ahí, ay, la ropa está ahí, todo. Pero en el momento que algo no está ahí, que no encaja, es cuando empezamos con la ansiedad, el pánico. Entonces en ese momento es cuando sí me entró al pánico, sí me entra la depresión, sí me entra y qué voy a hacer, pero es como un juego mental. Entonces tú tienes que aprender a jugar el juego.
Desde que sentiste eso, ¿cuánto duraste para poder salir de eso? Porque dijiste que sí, es más fácil, sí, lo voy a bloquear, pero obviamente la acción es más difícil.
Yo pienso que como que 2 años o 3 años. Y la razón es porque estás trabajando y saliendo adelante, pero tienes problemas emocionales y mentales. So, tienes que balancear tu tristeza y depresión, pero le tienes que seguir chingando. Entonces es como, okay, cuando ya de verdad estás muy mal es cuando te sientas y dices, okay, no, un momento, déjame trabajar en mí, en mi tristeza, en mi ansiedad, porque si sigo trabajando y trabajando, nunca voy a superar esto. O lo trabajo ya, o voy a ir trabajando con el backpack, con esa carga de mi sentir, o lo arreglamos ya, porque entonces los dos juntos estás mal, empiezas a subir de peso, estar estresada, tratas mal a la gente, estás mal de humor, entonces es mejor trabajarlo que bloquearlo ya después.
Para ti, para sobrepasar esa ansiedad y la depresión, tú dijiste, yo voy a seguir moviéndome, trabajando la mente para que tu ansiedad no te consuma.
Bueno, no, te voy a decir que tomé terapia. Yo recomiendo la terapia 1000%. Yo llamé a mi terapista Judy, es muy buena. Entonces, yo me recuerdo que yo llegué y dije, okay, estoy mal. Entonces, okay, ¿qué estás mal? Entonces, vamos a ver de dónde viene todo eso. Entonces, agarrar terapia, hablar con las amistades, leer, ver videos de motivación y mantenerte ocupada, eso es lo que me ayudó a mí. A muchas personas, tener una mascota les ayuda. O sea, lo que trabaje para ti, o que si alguien te aconseja algo y a lo mejor si funciona, hay que hacerlo, pero tienes que hacerlo.
Antes de empezar terapia, ¿siempre pensabas que ibas a ir a terapia cuando ya no podías con todo ese dolor y toda esa ansiedad? ¿O were you in denial diciendo, no, yo no quiero una terapia, no me va a ayudar esto? Porque hay unas personas que a veces no piensan que la terapia no ayuda, pero yo también he ido a terapia y yo se lo recomiendo a todos, no es para locos, es más, cuando yo fui, yo pensaba lo mismo, diciendo, no, yo no estoy loca, pero yo ya cuando empecé a ir a terapia, mi mentalidad cambió mucho porque I understood how to understand my emotions, basically. So that's what I want to know. Did you ever think, oh, I'm never going to go to therapy because it's not going to work? Or did you go into a breaking point? You're like, you know what? I can't do this alone anymore. I need to speak to someone professionally.
Yo siempre fui pro terapia. Creo therapy is really good. I encourage everybody. I never thought it was for crazy people. I just didn't think it was for me because I didn't have time. So that was my excuse. Everybody's excuse is always no hay tiempo. No hay tiempo, no hay tiempo. No, pero cuando ya estás abajo es cuando dices. Entonces fue cuando yo ya me sentía como muy deprimida, muy decaída, muy como descuidada. Dije, no, o ya estaba como siendo más agresiva o maltratando a los niños de alguna manera con algún gesto, con algún grito. Entonces es como necesitas ir a hablar con alguien. So, es como un espejo. Si tú te pones en un espejo, te miras a ti mismo. So, cuando tú estás con tu hermana, con tus amigos, con la terapista, es realmente tú hablándote a ti misma las cosas que no quieres aceptar.
¿Y tu hija en ese tiempo ya entendía que era porque estabas deprimida y ansiosa? ¿O en ese tiempo, porque ya está más chiquita, no te sientes mal diciendo por qué? En ese tiempo no pensabas, like, estoy mal, ¿por qué le estoy tratando a mis hijos así, desquitándome con ellos? Estero diciendo, like, okay, necesito desahogarme, pero en otra manera, no con mis propios hijos.
Claro, no sé si ella entendía, pero los niños son muy inteligentes. Ellos entienden todo, pero no el cerebro todavía no ha desarrollado. Entonces uno quiere creer que ya ellos van a entender a la misma capacidad de tú y la edad y no. Entonces es algo que sí estamos trabajando en la casa porque pues la verdad nunca quisiera que ella pase algo difícil y si lo pasa está bien, lo vamos a afrontar como familia, pero sí vamos a ir a la terapia y vamos a hacer todo lo que tengamos que hacer.
I love that. Creo que las escucharon, terapia es muy bueno para ustedes, ¿eh? Que aquí, Brenda, yo también he tenido terapia y me ha ayudado y me quitó mi terapeuta, la Brenda. Sí, porque yo también sufría de ansiedad, pero mi ansiedad es más, por eso cuando voy a los eventos yo mentalmente me digo, estoy bien, nada te va a pasar, porque yo tomo ahorita medicamento por eso, porque si no me lo tomo me da pánico. Yeah, so that's why I said, like, I admire you because it does take a lot from taking such a big job, pasando por eso. It takes a lot. So quiero saber qué le puedes decir a las mujeres que están viendo, qué es un piece of advice que puede decirle que sigan adelante o cómo lo pueden hacer para que no se sientan así o si se sienten solas, ¿qué pueden hacer?
Pues yo a las mujeres les recomiendo que de verdad busquen ayuda. Si no quieren ir con un terapista está bien, pueden ir con su mejor amiga, con un familiar que ellas se sientan de confianza, porque está bien pedir ayuda. Porque nosotras como mamás y como mujeres nunca queremos pedir ayuda. Nunca reconocemos que ocupamos ayuda, pero tenemos que aceptar que está bien, que no podemos ser soldadas, mujeres fuertes todo el tiempo, que está bien ser femenina, está bien bajar la guardia, está bien llorar, está bien decir no puedo. Está bien.
I love that. Like, as you're saying that, I'm thinking of people that will reflect to that statement you said. Porque tú, ¿ahorita estás soltera o estás con alguien?
Bueno, estuve soltera varios tiempos, pero ahorita sí, como me estoy dando la oportunidad de estar con alguien. Después de mucho tiempo.
Me da mucho gusto. Like, por eso admiro mucho que tú, ya que no estabas con esa pareja que ya, gracias a Dios, estás en mejor estado. Lo que me gusta escuchar es que tú dices, me voy a poner las pilas porque tengo mis hijos y yo puedo, aunque...
Porque yo soy chingona.
Ajá. Porque pienso que muchas mujeres piensan que sí, está bien ser mamá, pero a veces pierden esa motivación que puede ser más de que ser mamá. Porque muchas personas, por ejemplo, las mujeres dicen, oh, pero tengo que estar presente por mis hijos, pero a veces tienen que pensar, okay, pero yo, ¿qué quiero ser yo? Para mí misma. So, viéndolo en persona de ti, que tú diciendo, yo soy mamá, yo soy PR manager, yo puedo hacer todo lo que me echen encima porque yo voy a poder, no sé cuánto tiempo me va a pasar o cuánto me va a durar, pues lo voy a hacer.
Sí, la verdad es que las mujeres, hay muchas que se olvidan de ser mujer, entonces es solo los hijos y el hijo las consume, entonces ya no quieren salir, no quieren porque el dating life is hard. Entonces, they're like, ay, yo no quiero hombres, no quiero saber del amor. Entonces, ellas mismas están cerrando las puertas uno mismo por decir eso. Entonces, uno tiene que tener cuidado también con lo que dice con la boca, porque también se hace, se cumple. Es como cuando manifiestas algo. Entonces, tienes que tener cuidado con lo que dices. Pero a mí, sí, yo siempre he estado, ya no estoy tan traumada, pero siempre yo decía, yo quiero que mis hijos me vean con alguien después o feliz para que digan, oh, así es como una relación sana se mira, o así es como mamá se mira feliz, o mamá se merece ser feliz, está bien. Entonces, muchas mujeres, no lo hacen por temor a los hijos, eso, pero los hijos son prestados, se van a ir y luego no les importa qué pasó. Pero claro, no hay que tener cuidado quién metes a la casa, qué persona, pero tienes que tú misma darte la oportunidad de ser feliz o have fun o salir con las amigas, todo. Uh-huh.
I love that. I feel like I'm telling you, it's so hard for people to understand that. So every time I see you, I'm telling you, and I can't stress this enough. You're so confident, so driven, and it shows. Like, especially women have a hard time acknowledging that. So I just want to say that you're doing an amazing job. Like, I admire you for being such a hard, independent queen, period. I love that for you. And I want to know, what is your life looking at in the next 5 years? Aparte de said you're working, going into reality TV and all that, your personal life, as in with your kids and then with your pareja, with yourself.
Yo creo que sí tengo ganas de casarme una vez más. Yo creo que a lo mejor sí me caso una vez más y si no, pues ya no me caso. Pero sí me quisiera casar. Yo dije que ya no iba a tener bebés ni nada, pero tal vez uno más. Tal vez está ahí como en el aire flotando y viene con la cigüeña en un diaper, pero puede ser, no estoy cerrada a la idea y si no pasa estoy feliz porque por lo menos ya tuve hijos, sí, pero no estoy cerrada completamente, pero sí me gustaría casarme otra vez y viajar y crecer con la persona con que estoy y ir más como porque yo soy de Costa Rica, soy más a estar ya en Costa Rica, viajar un poco más y ya no estar tanto en el ojo público.
What is a piece of advice that you would give to somebody that wants to start doing PR management?
That they really have to like what they do and have tough skin. They cannot just get offended. They cannot get sidetracked. They have to be okay with all types of personalities and they have to be okay to network and not be shy and talk. And you gotta just, work hard.
How can one start doing PR?
Well, first, you gotta define what kind of PR you want to do to start or explore all areas like music, restaurants, or TV. Depends what kind of PR you want to be, whether it's for an artist or maybe, get a little bit of internship experience here and there. And then you kind of know where you want to do. There's a lot of people that go to school for journalism and then they end up doing PR or things like that. Or if you don't have an experience, you can work with a PR and see if that's something you like. And if they let you work an event or go to the office with you and kind of see what you do and see if you like it.
I'm gonna start doing PR. Just kidding. No, I can't do that. I'd rather be the creator. It's okay. You guys deal with a lot of stress. I'm like, I cannot do that. How do you feel about the whole immigration?
I just feel like our people, our Latino community is going through a tough time right now. And, you have to have a lot of empathy with your community. And I feel like there's a lot of resources out there. I feel like people are scared and that it's preventing them from maybe finding the help that they do need. Cause there's a lot of resources that they can still stay here. Receive medical, they can still get legal help and nothing is completely close to them. You just gotta try to get out of your shell and maybe start asking for help. It's okay, and if you know somebody, have empathy. If they have a question, answer it or, just be there for them, with education and facts. If you don't know, maybe don't say anything, but, try to, either stay quiet in a sense of if you're going to give the wrong information, don't say anything. But if you see something that's like que es injusto, si puedes ayudar a alguien o puedes estar ahí defender en ese momento, no te quedes callado. So, estoy en Instagram como Patty Torres PR y en TikTok como Patty _Pan Dulce. Patty Pan Dulce.